Sorry, I got hung up on another one. Oh, what was wrong there? I couldn't get finished fast enough. Well, we'll try to speed this one up then.
Well,
Okay, sweetie. Okay.
Let's bring out the tools. What would you like today, Darius? I'd like whatever.
We're not going to use Vaseline this time because we're in a hurry.
I can just imagine some of the shit he watches.
Okay, now do that one more time.
Who?
You guys do that little stick one more time.
Bullshit! You're going to record it!
Exactly, that's going in the podcast.
This is Pastime Viewpoints, and we are here to podcast TNA Slammiversary. You've got me, Jeff, Adam, and Gil. I think we've all got our composure now.
Nope, but we're going to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to try not to make this 2 hours.
Yeah, and just a quick message. Get a mic, D.
Yeah.
D, you need a mic and stop using it for other things. You'll find out after.
I thought it was going before.
It already happened.
What do you know?
No, we'll save it for the end. Easter egg for everyone. If you have to wait till the end to hear this.
Oh, yeah. Watch the whole podcast. It's all gonna be quality. Trust me.
Yeah. So, we had Slammiversary this week. And, my God, this was actually a pretty decent pay-per-view.
It was. It was surprised the hell out of me because TNA's been in some form of slump.
Yeah, seeing as how we opted out not to do a podcast on it. And I did a solo one where I just kind of said, you know what, this is stupid.
We instead done a WWE podcast about how the releases were absurd. Mm-hmm. But this week I have a feeling that TNA is priority over anything WWE does.
We'll have a podcast for sure, probably for Impact this week.
Oh, we have to. We have to. And quite frankly, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
First thoughts is just, wow.
Yeah.
Hammerstein.
That too. And maybe JB will actually be here for once. I mean, he's like, I have a life. And we're like, dude, you're from New York.
Yeah. Yeah, JB, how you doing, bruh? How you doing, man?
At least Getty's got an excuse. He doesn't like TNA.
Yeah, JB's turned his back on us.
Yeah. That's why we bash him.
Yep. Go the Rangers. Excuse me.
Anyway, so Slammiversary starts off with the X Division ladder match. And the surprise of this match is Crazy Steve.
Well, that remains to be said because...
No.
Crazy...
The crowd
reaction. Oh, no. It just remains to be seen how good he can go in the future because the crowd's behind him.
Oh, God, yeah.
The Wolves were... their reaction was paled in comparison by Crazy Steve, which just blew me out because...
Dude, for the longest time there, it looked like Crazy Steve was going to have the best reaction.
The only thing that was louder than the fact that Crazy Steve was up amongst the crowd was the spots.
Oh my God. That was... God.
How you can prevent yourself from getting hurt during that is just beyond me.
How Sonata got back up and got up the ladder to win the match. Spoilers, he won. Sonata won.
For those...
You had the Wolves, Tigre Uno, Crazy Steve...
Well, it was, yeah.
Manic. There was a sixth person.
Sonata El Tigre.
Yeah.
Tigre Uno, sorry, his new name. Yeah, sorry. Tigre Uno, that somersault corkscrew that he did over the ladder from inside of the ring, that kicked it off. Mm-hmm. That kicked the match off. And, Crazy Steve, first thing he did was, after getting the pop, brought out a ladder, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, this ought to be good. And what did Tigre Uno do about it? Somersault corkscrew.
Yeah. Now, the one thing was the ending was a little lackluster.
It was. It was anticlimactic of the entire match.
Yeah, but it can be forgiven with the action in the match itself.
Theoretically, if you look at a ladder match and if the guys are all busted and broken and winded and smashed as they were, you can understand an ending like that because it was just a quick, opportunistic yoink. I'm the champ still.
Well, and the thing is, in 2 weeks' time, we have Money in the Bank.
Right.
You know they're not going to produce something like that.
Of course.
Because look at the competitors they have now.
Well, yeah, that sunset flip by Manic onto Davey Richards that impaled him in the ladder.
I don't think Randy Orton's going to be doing that to Bray Wyatt anytime soon in that match.
Yeah.
The closest one we have so far is like Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, Del Rio might give a shake, but that's pretty much all he'll get. This is why you need to put Ziggler in your main events, WWE. This is why you need Ziggler.
No.
Anyway,
no.
We're trying. It's a TNA podcast. We give positive things to positive companies. Continue on.
No. Joe versus Lashley. Now, as I mentioned in my solo one, MVP got hurt. He was hoping to compete, but he just couldn't. He had his serious injured, really bad. So TNA made the decision on Friday to announce the winners between Joe and Lashley, and then Aries and King would be added to the main event in the ladder match, or not the ladder match, the steel cage match.
Right.
So we had Joe versus Lashley in a very good match. But for they played off that Joe would always get distracted by something, and the distraction is what ended up costing him the match. Still a good match.
Oh, it was a good match. It was one of those finishes where it was could have been done a tiny bit better.
Yeah.
Because you could see it from a mile away. You could see Stevie Wonder saw that ending, and still the match quality. You can't beat match quality.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I've got to point out here is, and I said it to my missus while I was watching the pay-per-view, big men in wrestling are somewhat of a WWE thing. But that's how big men have a match.
Yep.
It was wrestling. That was proper wrestling, and they just fucking belted each other. There was nothing on the line. They just name it.
There was something on the line.
Oh, there was something. I just mean there was nothing. There was nothing left to not give.
Yeah.
Everything was thrown out there and just went, here you go, have it. And Joe put out a hell of a performance.
Mm-hmm.
I've got nothing else to say about the match, but that's how big men should wrestle. And when you've got Batista taking on Mason Ryan or Rusev and guys like that, they don't compare.
Rusev and Big E.
Lashley was the best WWE big man, and they let him go. I'd like anyone to argue me that point.
More like he
Brock Lesnar.
left.
Just because he broke a streak doesn't mean he's the best wrestler. He just throws bitches places, that's all. But no, it was just Lashley could wrestle. He was athletic, he had ability, and WWE screwed his wife over.
He's just not too keen on the mic.
He didn't need to be at the time.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the other thing as well is now he has this guy called MVP and Kenny King to do all the talking for him. So he just worries about his wrestling, and that's what he did today.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. That's my thoughts.
Pretty much that's all we got to do. That was a good match. Lashley gets the win, moves on to the main event. And then we have Magnus versus Willow with Bram and Abyss at ringside.
Teddy Long, where the fuck were you?
No, I was so hoping he'd show up. Still, it was another good match.
There was plenty of hard hits, but it was a more traditional match. The card was very extreme in the sense that it was very hardcore justice-like with the matches and types, but this match was more traditional. Yeah, right.
Well, and then it looked like Hardy was going for what looked like the Swanton Bomb near the match, and then he just kind of dropped on him because he was too Like he's like, no. And then he did the kind of the jump to the outside where he just kind of did the Adam Rose thing now, what Adam Rose does.
Well, yeah, that was a bit weird, but it was a good move.
But
weird.
again, I liked it because it wasn't a typical Hardy move.
Right. I didn't see it coming. Like, personally,
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
And
But
then
he's saying, you know,
Magnus gets the win.
yes.
Who saw that one coming?
I did. I
mean,
Like, I'm not saying, like, that I'm sitting there the whole time going, oh, Magnus is going to kick his ass, easy. But I like where Magnus has gone.
yeah.
And for Magnus to actually become this credible wrestler who he's attempting to be,
Again.
he needed that win.
Yeah.
And he got it. He beat Willow. Done. Simple. Easy. Done. Good for him. Willow doesn't need to win every time to get over. He's over the way he is.
Has Willow won a lot of matches?
He's won a couple here and there, yeah.
No, he was beating Magnus off and on. He's
Right.
beating Bram.
Bram.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
some cereal with some Bram.
Well, I mean, Jeff Hardy's at that point in his career where, he's big enough to where, he doesn't even need to win to,
Yeah.
be popular, and, he can use his own popularity to help get other guys over.
Yeah.
And then
And
there's what I've always said, and that is if you can put out a good enough performance, you don't always have to win.
Yeah.
Because the crowd doesn't care if they're satisfied with the results.
Yep.
If the match is good enough, and this is always a throwback to Japan, where Gil is often, a major fan, but if you put on a good enough, how you doing? But when you put on a good enough product, you don't need to have wins and losses are everything.
Mm-hmm.
Willow's
Pretty
still
much.
had a good performance. Yeah. He's over still. Doesn't matter.
Now, we're going to move on to the highlight and the shock of the night. It was when Kurt Angle came out to announce the latest inductee to the Hall of Fame. And this was a truly huge mark-out moment. Because they were hyping this up as one person, and then you hear Kurt Angle say, these two. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Team 3D.
Huge.
Much deserved.
10 minutes from the crowd alone. What felt like 10 minutes was probably 5.
Oh, it just went on, and the moment was savoured, and good for them.
And that was before they even got to speak.
Yep.
This was a solid couple of minutes of nothing but the crowd chanting for Team 3D. They were going nuts.
Right.
This is something you want to go back and watch. Because you're not going to get this kind of reaction with WWE.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Because with WWE, they would quickly push it to the side. They would take that chair and say, no, we're moving ahead. No, TNA actually gives you the time to let that just sink in and just build. They let it build. Granted, it made them run a little over, but a pay-per-view, so who cares?
I was going to say pay-per-view. If it was on Spike, then yeah, they probably would have edited it, but,
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, they would have just cut. So they would have cut from another match because this is like a huge moment.
Right.
And I mean, it's. Let's go ahead and make this joke. Miami Heat couldn't do the three-peat. TNA got the three-peat.
Yes.
Sting, Kurt Angle, Team 3D. They got them all before WWE.
True.
Which puts WWE in a very difficult position. Because this means when Kurt Angle retires, they've got to wait a few more years before inducting him.
Right.
Because, he's already in the TNA Hall of Fame. Come on, guys. It's like, so kind of like,
No DQ, shut the fuck up. Sorry, I just had a flashback. Yeah.
But, I mean, this was, my God, it was just, wow. I mean, you're sitting here watching this going, it's well deserved. These guys have like won tag team titles everywhere they've been.
True.
They're 23 times. Like, isn't it 23?
Oh, I'm sure it
I
is.
believe so.
Was it you or D Adam that said potentially the greatest tag team?
Oh, that was me. That was definitely me.
And then I came back with they are the greatest tag team.
See, I come from an era, and mind you, as an old school fan, it's hard to say that when you watch the Road Warriors, when you watch the Hart Foundation, when you watch a lot of the old school tag teams, it's hard to sit there and go, you know what, they are the greatest tag team in the world.
Now, but would you say they're the greatest tag team since the 90s?
Oh God, not even a comparison. No one can even argue that point. If they do, they're fucking wrong.
Right.
Because, I mean, you got Bad Influence, but, I mean, you know, they're just not like that. Red Dragon's pretty decent, but, I mean,
Right.
you don't have the years. You don't have the experience. You don't have all the companies that these two have been in.
Oh, well, in that case, Ten Koji.
But in saying that as well, you know, like you've got tag teams
look at
like Beer
Time.
Money.
Yeah, Beer Money.
Beer Money would be the closest, and they only skimmed the surface of what Team 3D did.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because WWE, WCW, ECW, Japan, TNA, you name it, they've gone, they've conquered, they've won. It's reminiscent of the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
and that's why
if you name a major wrestling company in the past decade or so, Team 3D's been there, done that.
Ticked off the list.
Yeah. At least 23 times champions. Like, I mean, I don't think we're going to get another tag team like them.
No.
Oh, it's tag team
not in
wrestling
the
is a dying
state
art.
that wrestling is nowadays. No.
Yeah. It's going to be a long time before you ever see a tag team like this, which it's really sad because then you have your Bad Influences, you have your Red Dragons, who are both really strong teams, but they're never going to be this good.
Well,
also
okay,
NWA tag team champions.
I was going to say, I will vouch that one with potential might be Forever Hooligans. But
well, yeah, Forever Hooligans. I'm so sorry, I forgot about them. I think the only company that 3D hasn't been to is Ring of Honor.
Yes.
And you know the second they walked into Ring of Honor, they'd be handed the titles, essentially.
Right.
Like, as I just said, they've even won the NWA World Tag Team Championships. They've literally won every one of them.
And see, it was something we were talking about in the chat. You could put some of the greatest tag team people in a match with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Your Red Dragons, your Forever Hooligans, Bad Influence, the Hardy Boys.
Young Bucks.
Young Bucks was included in that. We had, before we got into actual tag teams that are still around, we had a whole bunch. I mean,
got it. Even the Machine Guns.
Yes, Motor City Machine Guns. I actually said them too. I mean, Beer Money. We said Beer Money too in this.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever had this chance to have this big thing with all these tag teams, dude, this would sell. You could sell this alone.
Oh, definitely. But you want to make a note of something? In all of those tag teams we mentioned, how many of them are currently signed with WWE?
Oh, zilch.
None.
I mean, you got the Usos, but I'm sorry, you can't prove to me that the Usos are this huge tag team. Harper and Rowan?
No.
These two are a good team, but they're not given the right team.
It's hard to be tag team specialists when you cannot work with fellow tag team specialists.
Because, I mean,
it's simple.
They've essentially broke up the Rhodes Brothers. So, who are all the... Los Matadores. I'm so sorry. The only tag team that could have actually kind of been mentioned isn't there anymore because They hindered Jinder.
We're a three-man band.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they screwed with Drew.
Exactly.
And they hindered Jinder.
I said that already.
Yeah, I had to say it louder though because I couldn't hear it.
Mm.
So.
But I mean, it's a sad day when you could go to you could probably go to every company right now and pick a tag team except from WWE.
Oh yeah, God, the bromance would even compare better.
Oh, we never mentioned the bromance. Holy shit! And the Wolves.
Yeah.
And the Von Erichs as well.
Now there is.
Hey, now here's something. Reunite El Generico and Kevin Steen.
God damn. I really hope they let go Sami Zayn and let him go back to Ring of Honor. Because that guy just doesn't seem to be going to be in the main roster.
He's over in NXT, but it's just...
So was a lot of people.
I know.
So was Paige. How about that?
There's more to Paige, though, than what's going on.
I'm aware. Trust me, I'm aware. Anyway, continuing on.
So, yeah, we could go on for another 20 minutes on this tag team, but... Rybacksaw. Forgot about them.
Oh,
my God. Why? That's the only team from WWE right now.
There you go.
Curtis, sweetie, honey, we're sorry. we, Adam and myself and Gil, we fucked up.
Wait, I remember them. You fucked up.
You didn't bring them up in the chat, though.
Oh, because I just thought it was, intended, because they're the only tag team that matters.
Yeah, I mean...
TNA should induct them.
Exactly, yeah. Actually, I think they're gonna come out this Thursday and actually say, yeah, we screwed up.
Sorry. Rybacksaw. Team 3D, wait another year. Sorry, our bad.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Carry on.
The match after this, which is like, okay, we have to match this.
Oh shit!
They picked a good one. Kenny King versus Austin Aries.
Oh, definitely.
My God.
This is an X Division match.
King of the Night versus the greatest man who ever lived.
Yes. It was good. A very good, strong match. With Aries getting the win. And can I just say, it's amazing to see Austin Aries out of the doghouse now.
Oh, yeah.
In a matter of weeks, he went from being in the doghouse to main eventing a pay-per-view.
It's good, It's really good to see that. Okay, he fucked up, maybe.
Now,
I can't.
And the thing to also point out, though, is he could have jobbed to Lashley, and they could have easily had Samoa Joe be the one to go over King.
Yes,
right.
But they let Aries move on.
Oh yeah, because whether they like it or not, Aries is a top star for them. I mean,
yes.
he's got the ability, he's got the charisma. He can.
He is essentially their CM Punk.
Oh, definitely.
And if you watch the main event, you'll see that if the crowd was chanting for anyone louder, it was actually Aries,
Dude,
not
Aries
EY.
Aries was over as hell. They were like booing EY for some reason.
Oh, I can see why, because Aries.
Well, yeah, it's Aries.
Mm-hmm.
Just Aries, that's all.
Yeah. So
fair game.
Yeah, go watch this match. The Von Erichs were in the ring next against Zema Ion and Jesse of the Bromance. The question is, where the hell was Robbie?
Yeah, that is a very good question, I was wondering where he was, and when... In a way, I do prefer Zema Ion actually getting some airtime because he's a very good performer.
Mm-hmm.
But still, Robbie E not being there was a bit weird.
But for some reason, I thought he was in the ladder match, but he wasn't.
Yeah, he just was not there in general.
Yeah, it's just like, because you really would have think that Robbie E and Jesse would have been the better team for this.
Maybe something came up.
Possibly.
Well, I didn't even know the Von Erichs were wrestling, so maybe they probably...
I knew. No. I knew about it.
Did they say who they were wrestling?
I knew they invited the Von Erichs, I just didn't know they booked them.
No. They had been booked for a while now.
maybe this was just a last-minute decision, and he just wasn't there. Maybe he had commitments. You never know.
But we see the Von Erichs win by disqualification. Some people may not like the fact that they won by disqualification, but
I know
it just
Jim
means,
Ross didn't.
Well, yeah. But the way I view this as, if they're not staying with the company, there's no reason for them to go over TNA Talent if they're not staying.
That is true.
This was something the Knockouts had an issue with their pay-per-view. Their all-knockout pay-per-view, where people who weren't with the company actually went over the actual knockouts with the company. There were actually people who were upset with that. So,
see, the thing is, I'm actually hoping that it doesn't stop here. I mean, did you hear? You saw the reaction to the Von Erichs, especially
but again,
Kevin.
You're
Von
in Von
Erich
country, though.
In Texas.
Yes.
Right.
Will they get the same reaction elsewhere?
Who knows?
Potentially.
Potentially, maybe.
If you have more of Rob,
I'd be honest. If you brought Kevin Von Erich with them as their manager,
yes,
over as fuck, no questions asked.
The reaction he got when he came in to the ring and attacked or to help him out, dude. This crowd, it almost rivaled when they announced Team 3D. It still wasn't as loud, but it was rivaling right there.
Nothing was louder than Team 3D.
Yes.
But Kevin Von Erich in home, honored, tributed. It was good. It was good. I liked it. And some people might not know who the Von Erichs are. You, sir, are a wanker. I just had to address that. We had a guy earlier on asking who the Von Erichs were. If you ask who a Von Erich is and you're a fan of wrestling, get the fuck out and study Google.
Okay, wait. To be fair, if you're a WWE mark,
yeah, you probably won't know who the Von Erichs are if that's the case.
Yeah, but then you're not a true wrestling fan either.
You're a sports entertainment mark, but yeah,
that's the one.
But I mean, yeah, this is another good match. I mean, the Von Erichs, come on, one of them wrestling without shoes.
A proper tribute to his family.
And then his father came, and then when his dad came in, he didn't have his shoes on.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and understandably, I think it was good. I liked it, and it reminded me. And when I watched the Von Erichs, people might have not picked it up, but they actually wrestled like the Von Erichs. Where it's high fire, high intensity, big slams, proper wrestling. No bullshit, just pure wrestling. And I like it.
I really hope they stay with TNA.
Oh, well, because so am I.
It'll help add more depth to the tag team division.
Definitely.
Oh, the Wolves and the Von Erichs. Holy shit, could you have a series there?
Yeah.
Bromans even continue that feud on. Does not matter. Get some depth into that tag division. Start off with a name that defined tag team wrestling in the 70s.
Now, I implore you to think of this, though. One, Beer Money versus Von Erichs.
Dude, that could main event.
Because, but think about this. Good. Beer Money was more old-school tactic wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that was proper old-fashioned heels.
So,
yeah.
I mean, my God. If you get Bad Influence back in, my God. Bad Influence versus the Von Erichs.
Oh, wouldn't it have been a lovely sentiment for Team 3D to have a match with the Von Erichs before they left?
Who says they can't?
Well, I'm not saying they can't, but I'm just saying that based on today, as far as we know, there is no real official word of them staying around for good. Yeah. So, but using your minds, it'd be great to see some.
The fact that they got a pay-per-view spot on TNA. WWE would not do something like this.
Well,
if they were 6 foot tall, they would have.
Well,
and bulletproof.
But we know why they're doing this. You know why they let the Von Erichs on this pay-per-view.
Yeah, because it was in Texas.
It was in Texas. It was an easy way to help sell tickets to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And
it showed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've got the people saying, oh, what about this main section here that had nothing there?
They weren't selling that section.
That's called where the camera goes. Same thing in WWE. There's a spot where the camera goes. And there's no reason...
Hold on. They have cameras at WWE? I just thought that it just projected the greatness out of the blue.
Yeah, it's weird. But
oh, shit.
They want this space open so then you don't have a head taking up the entire camera, covering the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I think if anything to sum it up, I think it was just a great match.
Yeah.
Like just to have just a pure, basic, simple match that wasn't even a time filler.
And
no, that's the thing. None of this was time filler.
Oh, there was no dance-offs or anything.
There was not one segment or one match that didn't feel like it should have been on the pay-per-view.
Oh, much agreed. It was a tribute to Texas, this pay-per-view, and it really goes to show you that they need to go there a lot fucking more.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. We forgot about the little promo earlier with Dixie Carter.
Oh, yeah,
she was up in the stands. Rockstar Spud. Praise you. I praise you, you young man of
British descent.
Sexy stud.
He was dressed as Jack Nicholson Joker.
Rockstar Spud's more of a man than I am.
I marked the fuck out for that. Myself.
Well,
Gil,
I think we all did.
You can have Prince Devitt doing the Joker.
Actually, he's more likely to do Carnage or Venom. But yeah.
Then he did the Joker at one point.
Heath Ledger's Joker, yeah.
Yeah, he did Heath Ledger's. But TNA has... And then you have Rey Mysterio who did the Joker. And that was Heath Ledger Joker. He did Heath Ledger Joker also. But no. Rockstar Spud says, no, you bloody Yanks. No. Let me show you how to do a Joker.
Jack Nicholson.
I don't know, Heath Ledger was pretty good.
Actually, was it Jack Nicholson or was it more animated series? Now that I think about it.
Might have been a mixture of both because I think the animated series got it from Jack Nicholson.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
The comics had it from there as well.
Mm-hmm.
No. Well?
You sure?
Yeah, actually, no. Yeah, the original style. The original style Batman, Joker.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
before the fourth season.
Yes.
I was going to say the animated series came out in 1992, and of course, Batman with Jack Nicholson came out in 1989, a couple years before. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and you can kind of when you look at the picture of the Joker and then what Spud was wearing, both of the Jokers, it kind of works from both of them because he had the purple jacket, he had the purple pants. The only thing missing was his hair being green.
And the white face
wasn't really
yeah.
Well, yeah. And then the makeup. I mean, it's like, I can't even fault you for this. This is amazing. As a Batman fan, I'm just like, oh my god, I love you, Spud.
That was pretty good cosplay. Unintentional cosplay.
Yeah. Now, okay. Enough of that. We had Gail Kim versus Angelina Love.
Yes.
And the referee...
I love that man.
I like what they're doing with this. Because I didn't actually notice this in the matches on Impact. That he's been kind of the ref the entire time, and he's been like...
Fishing?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I honestly didn't realise it either. It actually took me by surprise, and it's like, oh yeah, he has been a bit.
And then you had Hefner come out and get, because... You see... You see, Velvet Sky spray Gail Kim straight in the face with the hairspray, right in front of the ref, and you're like,
DQ.
DQ? Oh, she's been. Oh, you're counting. Oh, what? Okay. Well, that just happened.
See, at the start, you're thinking to yourself, oh, that might have been just poor refereeing, like a
WWE.
You know how you have referee. Yeah, you know how you have referees that turn around too quickly and they're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have seen that, and then just pretend they didn't see it and just go, that's bad, how dare you?
And then you have
Earl Hebner played it off.
Out, and then he tries to, he takes the bottle away from Velvet.
Kicks her out too, I think.
No, he didn't kick her out. He tried to. Well, oh yeah, he told her to take her back up, and then he kicked out Stifler. He tagged himself in as the announce team put it.
That was great, yeah.
And then he gets inadvertently kicked. Stifler is trying to watch him, while Gail Kim essentially has the match won like 3 or 4 times until Angelina rolls her up, holding her holding her trunks.
Yeah, holding the tights, yeah.
And then Stifler comes in and does a fast count.
It was good.
Yeah, and I'm actually liking where this can go from here.
It's good to have progression in female wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
definitely.
they've got an angle. It's something that you don't see anywhere else, apart from Shimmer and all that. But mainstream wrestling, it's hard for them to be able to tell a story, and that match told a story. There was literally something said.
And then you add to the fact how we're like, we're saying, oh, they kind of put the belt on her too soon because there's nobody there. This adds another depth to this because Gail got screwed.
Oh,
yes.
And as long as Stifler's doing this referee stuff, it's going to continue to happen. Because what's going to happen is, I can see it now, in another one of her matches, they won't have Stifler being the ref, but some way or another, he'll end up coming in and taking the spot of the ref in some weird way.
It's always funny when they have these fishy referee angles, but they get a little bit predictable and a little bit awkward and a little bit, here we go again. But if TNA can work their way around this, all the best to them.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with dodgy officiating, especially when you're looking at Angelina Love as a heel champion.
Well, and then the thing is, they just tried to do this with the MVP angle too.
That too.
Which it didn't pan out nearly as well. I mean,
this is different.
It played out on TV, but again, this is different. This is just a little more tension. It's a more tension grabbing because one, it's the knockouts. I mean, who's not going to notice them? But I mean, come on.
Of course.
Well, yeah. But yeah, it's another dimension of the females division that doesn't really rely on them having to give out top star matches, which they can do.
And I mean,
makes them interesting.
Yeah, when you look at it, you're like, okay, this is something I would clearly see them doing for the top division, for the men's division. Like, wait, I wouldn't expect them to do this with this because, you could see them doing doing their feminism and then getting it that way, but you're like, no, they conduct themselves better than that. So now you have a truly crooked ref for the women. So have an intergender match.
Intergender.
Yes, that's the word. Someone else.
Not even going to complain.
Of course not. I agree wholeheartedly.
So yeah, EC3 versus Bully Ray in a Texas Death Match.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Yes.
That's pretty much my summary. Just holy fuck. I don't have to go too much further than that. That was just brutal.
Oh, the cheese grater.
I've never honestly seen a cheese grater being used in that part of the anatomy before, but
it was
a
done
welcome
it
change.
a few times in TNA.
Oh yeah, I just mean like he got cheese grated in the face, then followed by the chest, and that was after he was getting slapped the piss out first.
Well,
but...
yeah, and I think the last time they had the cheese grater, they did the below the belt one.
Right, and
so they didn't actually go for that again.
Yeah, I'm pretty grateful for that.
And then they had the bull whip,
God,
or then they had the bull.
Grateful.
And then you had the cowbell, the chant for more cowbells.
Yeah, respect for that. Respect for the cowbell chant. That's Texas.
There was 3 or 4 tables get in the match, and only 2 of them got used.
There was 4 tables under the ring, so they were prepared.
Well,
it was good.
And like I pointed out, it's a good thing Abyss took Janice earlier in the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was.
You had steel chairs.
There was everything used. Everything
Dallas
under that
Cowboy trash can with glass in there.
Glass, yeah. Barricades, cement, wooden, ripped up ring. Everything was used.
Yeah. And the announce table got moved, which, like I pointed out in the chat, WWE should consider going that small announce table, because then the announce tables would never get destroyed.
The irony of TNA being
that would
smarter.
mean that they'd have to be more creative with their matches.
I know. What were you saying, Adam?
Oh, I was just saying that they were very creative with the fact that you'd sit there and actually go, you know, in real life, if you're really smart about saving money as a company, you wouldn't get your table destroyed all the time. Mm-hmm. So you would have a smaller table. It's actually just common fucking sense.
Well, but then the product placement, though, is a little harder to put out.
Well, that as well, yeah.
You can't have two bottles of Mountain Dew out on the stand. And then the JBL's hat couldn't stay. He'd actually have to have the hat on at all times.
Yeah,
King would have to have his crown.
It's a real shame when your commentators can't promote shit.
Michael Cole's ego wouldn't be enough for that small table.
Ouch. Ouch. Jeff with the fucking sniper crowbar here tonight.
Oh, apply some water to that burn.
Didn't mention Vince McMahon, luckily. Anyway.
But then have Dixie come out, and she runs into EC3. Bully goes to jump on, just to put her through a table. EC3 with the kendo stick hits him. The Joker comes in for the save, because the Joker's a good guy now. Saves Dixie, and then he falls through the table. This is a win by 10 count only match. He gets counted for the 10. Adam had some issues. Adam, go ahead and talk about it real fast.
I just thought that, well, for starters, Texas Deathmatch, usually Texas Deathmatches end up with, you've got to pin your opponent and then get a 10 count, which is one thing I didn't bring up earlier.
Well, I have a counter for that too then. Go ahead.
Well, because for starters, this was a last man standing match that happened in Texas.
Well, yeah, and the fact that we had 4 matches in the last hour of the pay-per-view.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he could have put him through the 2 tables and then got a pinfall and a 10 count. Anyway, doesn't matter. Irrelevant. But I just thought that the finish didn't have as much impact and as much... I don't know, I felt that it needed to be a slam through them tables. I didn't think it needed to be a kendo... Or at least if he kendoed him from the top rope. So he fell all the way straight through. Okay,
but then as I pointed out, look at the way he defeated Sting. Look at the way he defeated Kurt Angle. Look at the way he's been bragging about how he's defeated them. This fits perfectly into the way he has defeated 2 people who are already in the Hall of Fame, and now a guy who's going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. Right. It works perfectly. It works with the way EC3 has been building himself up. It makes him look strong without really, it doesn't hurt anyone in the end. It makes EC3 look good. But at the same time, he doesn't get the true win against the person. So the crowd still hates him. But they can still sympathize with Bully Ray in the end.
And the other thing that I did agree with you at the end of the day is that it does prolong the EC3 rivalry.
Yes.
Because it's not completely done.
Yes, it prolongs
Bully
that.
cannot sit there and say, you officially beat me.
Yes.
And he'll still want revenge. So that's what happens out of all of this.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to continue. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they can add hopefully they'll add another element to this in some way. Or maybe at Bound for Glory, just have a straight up one-on-one match.
No, I'd like Team 3D to have a match.
EC3 and Spud.
That is
suggested
true.
That earlier, actually. I suggested that earlier, actually.
That actually, hopefully, would probably be a pretty good contest, especially with, both Bully Ray and Devon calling the shots.
I'd also love it if it had a stipulation such as Dixie Carter was trapped out in a cage at ringside or banned from ringside.
No, I like the cage idea. Because then when they beat her, then you could just see Bully Ray and Devon just going around the cage and just you're going through a table, bitch.
And it also gives her time to do her MVP thing as well, so...
Yeah.
She can still get put through a table, but still have a good storyline. Well, it's good.
Exactly.
She's got things to do.
Yeah, and it wouldn't interfere with anything else like that. I mean, they could go on with that with the pay-per-view and then actually play it out later.
And the thing is, if Bully turns around and goes, "I reckon you should be in a cage," and she goes, "No, you don't," and MVP still having the rivalry he does with Dixie, agree to it just because it's haha, bitch.
Well, and the thing is, you had like at the very beginning of the show, you had Kenny King and Bobby Lashley talking with MVP saying, "Why didn't you just put us two in a handicap in the ladder in the cage match with him?" Well, Dixie went complaining to the board of directors. So you have Dixie and Bully still playing out, leading up there, and then you have MVP do the same thing.
There's still a lot of one-upsmanship.
Right,
yeah,
right there. Boom. That's build-up. That's everything still works.
So that what I just said can still very, very easily occur.
It all coincides in some way or another. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where the pieces just fall together without really trying.
Oh, yeah. And
yeah.
The only thing I've got to quickly bring out is that RKO on the glass. The Ace Crusher.
Yes.
Because RKO wasn't the first variation, but that Bubba Cutter on the glass, that was the highlight for me, because I was sitting there going, ugh, ow. Ooh.
Ow, oh, God.
Oh, God.
You know that chest of his is going to be bad.
It'll be red Thursday.
Because Bully was like just...
Yeah, he'd laid a whooping on his ass.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, now again, like I said, we had like 4 matches within the last hour of the pay-per-view.
Yes.
Now, saying that, James Storm versus Anderson, they both had promos. Like the match had a promo leading up to the match, and then James Storm came out and spoke. Anderson came out and spoke. It's like, oh my God, it works. They had 4 matches in an hour. You know, if this would have been WWE, we'd been like, they'd have been super short, or like with long intervals in there with like nothing going on.
Mm-hmm.
But you had in Anderson versus James Storm, you had them get the Dallas Cowboys who were there involved. And it worked amazingly.
It was a very, very solid match for the time allotted to it, and the ending made sense, and the whole match made sense. It was just one of those...
I hate you, you hate me, let's fight.
Pretty much. There's nothing more that you have to say, and it was just fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because
you can see
their promos were great.
And you can see this continuing still.
That
Because
is
of the
what
end.
it
When the Dallas Cowboys got involved, because James Storm essentially had Anderson beat.
Right.
But then one of the Dallas Cowboy guys came up. Oh, one of the things I loved was Storm's, like, before the match started, he's talking about, like, you know, we're only about a mile from, or we're pretty close to that $1 billion stadium, but if you guys are anything like your quarterback, you can't hit me. Couldn't make contact with me anyway, so who cares? Brilliant.
Yeah, he tore apart that crowd, and it works so well.
Well,
James Storm's missed.
Well, no, but that's the thing. James Storm is severely underrated. He's one
I
of
agree
my
with that.
favorites in ring. I mean, when he won the title, dude, I was so excited. About the same kind of excitement as when Eric Young won. I'm like, this is well deserved. A lot of people, when he won, are like, no, he shouldn't have won. I'm like, dude, he is severely underrated. You get him on the mic, he's good in the ring. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
He's come a long way.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see him challenge for the title again and win it again. Not just the 1 week. I'm talking about at least a 2-month run.
Right.
He needs this. If they're giving Eric Young this, he deserves it just as much as Eric Young.
Well, that's just it as well. EY's run has been quite solid at the moment. Yeah, sure, underrated as can be, but much deserved.
And then you add in the fact that Bryan is champion too, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's the same thing. It's just copying. It's just copying. It's
Of
copy
course,
Okay.
not taking into account that he also has a reality show on Animal Planet,
Yep.
and was making appearances on the Today Show, and among other places. You know, seriously.
Yeah.
Shall we also still mention how having EY as the champion is the most sensible option at this point? Because who can you have against EY? Just put a list down there, write names on there, and keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
He can take on Ethan Carter. He can take on MVP once healed. He can take on James Storm. He can take on whoever you want. Anderson, my
Joe.
God, you can.
Lashley.
Joe.
Kenny King.
He's that sort of champion. He's booked as that sort of champion.
Bring back Bobby Roode again. Give him a real feud.
Great option. Great option.
Give him a real fleshed out feud and not that thrown together in one night match.
I would actually be, and you can all agree with me here or not, but him and Bully Ray.
Yes.
Just no malice, no anger, just a full on just fucking championship match. No muss, no fuss. I would enjoy that a lot.
Yep. But
he's that sort of champion that you can. When Bryan's champion, who can you make him fight? No one. There is no one.
Well, Bryan
that's
can't wrestle.
their own fault because they don't build anyone up.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're seeing exactly the problem right now in WWE. Bryan had to relinquish the titles, and now WWE is essentially in panic mode. They threw Randy Orton in the Money in the Bank without a match.
Oh, yeah.
Del Rio was already in the match beforehand. Del Rio's got no chance in hell of winning this match.
Oh, Del Rio never did. In theory, Del Rio never did.
Cesaro and Bray Wyatt.
John Cena
has yet to be added, but you know he's going to get
in.
The dark horse winner of that match is Cesaro.
But all money points to Randy Orton.
The only reason I'm saying he's the dark horse is because they were banking on having Cesaro win the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Right.
And then have him cash in on Lesnar at SummerSlam.
See,
so
I don't know.
What I'm saying is he wins now and faces Lesnar at SummerSlam.
I honestly don't know why they just didn't have a match, a tournament or something like that. The Lesnar just come back. They paid a little bit of extra money and just got Lesnar in there to win the championship right now, and then just built someone up in the meantime. As in Money in the Bank and as in, like Raws. But I'm not here to judge WWE because God only knows that their product sucks and I don't need to give their good advice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What more? I could tell you what I could do to make it a better product, but I'm not going to give them any help. They've never done anything.
We can do an entire podcast for 2 hours.
We have.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not bothering. I don't care.
Okay, anyway, let's go on to the main event. The Triple Threat Championship match. The only way to win was pinfall submission.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might be asking yourself, wait, it's a steel cage match. What about escaping the cage?
Rob, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Fuck, they explained it before the match and fucking during it, you moron.
Yeah, they explained why they did this. Essentially, it was because they wanted to keep people out. Mm-hmm. To which I say,
keep everyone in.
Put the cage top on. Would that be Hell in the Cell? No, it's different than Hell in the Cell. Because they can't...
lockdown.
It's not even lockdown. They can't leave the ring to go underneath and get something from it. They can't do that. Mm-hmm. Oh, they shrunk the Hell in the Cell. No, they can still get out the Hell in the Cell match, and they end up getting on top of the ladder, top of the cage anyway, for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that,
and it explains the spot that Bobby Lashley had, where he went to spear EY near the end of the match.
Oh.
EY just sidesteps it, and Lashley just runs right through. Goes right through the door. And Lashley,
that was good.
Oh, Lashley dominated a lot of that match too.
I seen that spear spot happening,
Yo, I saw it too at that point. It's like
but
when you saw where Eric Young was standing, and then you saw Lashley. You're like, okay, I know exactly where this is going.
it looked phenomenal.
Oh, and then the EY John Cena moment.
Oh God, the double AA sort
Where
of.
he, well, no, don't call it an AA.
Fine, the double FU position.
No, no.
The double Samoan drop. Fuck, what more do you want?
Fireman's
wasn't-
carry.
Yes, it was a fireman's carry.
Fine,
He had-
double.
He had King and Lashley on his shoulders.
Aries
Aries
and Lashley.
and Lashley.
and Lashley. Okay.
Yeah, it's 2:40 in the morning. Shut the fuck up.
Uh-huh.
Ta-da.
Yada. Now we would talk about the ending of the match.
Oh, Jesus.
our stream cut out.
But to fill it into what I've been envisioned, it was Aries goes for a discus punch, misses.
We saw
EY,
that. We saw that stuff. It was,
yeah, and then EY went for a maneuver. Aries reversed it. Aries went for a brainbuster, which EY reversed into his own, picked him up, pole driver, and that was it.
Yeah, where Bobby Lashley was like after Lashley did that spear through the cage, he was done.
Mm-hmm.
You just had EY and Aries just in the ring going, you know what? These two need to have a solo match, one-on-one against each other. The only thing is, the crowd was on Aries' side. Because, again, it's Austin Aries.
Mm-hmm.
He's essentially the CM Punk of TNA.
You can't just not have him and the crowd love him.
Yep.
Right.
And he was a mark-out, stand-out moment in the entire match with the shit he was doing, and it was hard not to appreciate the fact that if you had the main event and it didn't even have Lashley, it would have been good.
Yep.
Yep.
And at the end, they didn't have Lashley, and it was fantastic. They were just beating the shit out of each other. It was good. Really good. And
the thing is, look at Money in the Bank. Look at the pay-per-view in 2 weeks.
Money in the what?
Rowan and Harper versus the Usos for the tag team titles has been announced. The only other match announced is the Money in the Bank match.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks away. We are 2 weeks away from that pay-per-view.
Right. And what's funny is that technically half this pay-per-view was announced just 2 days ago.
A week.
Oh, or something.
Here, let me go on the
I'm
WWE website.
I'm talking about this. No, I'm talking about TNA Slammiversary.
Oh.
The main event.
Oh, yeah.
Half this pay-per-view because they needed qualifiers.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, it was just...
Well, see, all they did was, though, they just played with the card they already had. They said, okay, we got Aries and Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And this was even, I mean, they unintentionally built it up on their pre-taped shows.
Mm-hmm.
God, didn't that work out well?
Yeah, because they didn't intend for this when they did it a month in the past.
Yep.
So, I mean, you look at Money in the Bank for the titles. You have Sheamus, which I completely forgot was in the match. Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, Cesaro, Randy Orton, and Bray Wyatt. There's still 2 more people have to be announced for that match. And then you have the Wyatts challenging the Usos. That's it. That's all you have right now.
I'm trying to work out what your point is. I'm sorry. How is that different from any other pay-per-view?
Now, 1 week before Money in the Bank, Ring of Honor has a pay-per-view. And yes, I said pay-per-view. Not an internet pay-per-view. This is
Not a special event.
No. WWE's doing pay-per-views again.
Oh, are they? Oh, boy, that went quick.
So,
Yeah, but...
next week, on June 22nd, Ring of Honor has their pay-per-view, Best in the World. Now, shall I go over the card real fast for this pay-per-view?
We really don't have to hit the shovel over the head.
No. I'm going to do it anyway. A submission match between Roderick Strong and Cedric Alexander.
Mm.
Most people don't even know those names.
Luckily,
I'm so
I do.
sorry. Roderick Strong is with the Decade right now. Cedric Alexander is going up against the Decade. They just had a really good match on their last pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be good. Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Truth Martini will be handcuffed to the ring post. He is with Jay Lethal, who is the current champion, versus the former one of the former champions in Matt Taven. And Matt Taven used to be with Truth Martini. I feel I have to do more explaining, but I'll do it next week if we do a podcast. And, oh my god, and this one. Kevin Steen versus Silas Young, the last real man. That's going to be good. Now, who's ready for a big boner? The Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships is on the line. Red Dragons will defend their titles against Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian.
Bad influence.
I want you to stop and think about that for a second. If you've ever seen Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly in a match,
Oh, it's probably going to be epic.
oh my god. And then there's a grudge tag team match. The Briscoe brothers, Mark and Jay, versus Matt Hardy and Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett and Matt Hardy are with Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes all the sense in the world, and when you add in all this other stuff, which I would strongly suggest, if you're going to watch this take the time to watch this pay-per-view, you need to actually know what's going on to understand most of this. This isn't just WWE where you can just kind of go in and like, oh, okay. Yeah, they'll have the video packages, but there's just so much involved in this. And then you have the main event, Adam Cole defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against Unbreakable Michael Elgin. This is a solid card.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. This is only a 6-match card. This is stacked.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to WWE, right now, WWE is shit right now. Their pay-per-view is shit compared to this. This has a chance to rival the pay-per-view we just saw, if not top it. Simply from Red Dragon versus Bad Influence.
Bad influence.
That alone.
But the thing that we've got to take away from this is at least TNA said, your move.
Yes. They started off really... You got 3 weeks of wrestling on Sunday. Boom, boom, boom. TNA said, we're going to start strong. Ring of Honor says, we've got just a good card. WWE says, we need another week. Make it 2.
But
And I mean, it's... You just look at this and you go, no, wait a minute. WWE has the bigger stars. Yet there's no card to talk of. You have 2 matches announced. You have the potential for them to add a second Money in the Bank briefcase match. Okay.
Didn't they sack like 10 of those? I mean, what?
Well, no. They're saying they were going to do them one for the titles, and then there's talk of adding a second one for the actual briefcase.
Yeah, but they sacked like half the potential candidates.
Well, yeah, that too. But and then you look at the thing. You look at WWE right now and say, what is there? I mean, I guess Barrett will defend the Intercontinental title, I guess.
But Sheamus can't.
But you look at that and say, okay, who? Is it going to be Rob Van Dam again? Who is Barrett there to face?
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, okay, so Barrett, that makes 3 matches. What's the pre-show? El Torito versus Hornswoggle again?
Sando versus someone.
And then you have the problem of, okay, so we have the tag team match. We have the Money in the Bank. The Money in the Bank is going to go probably 40 minutes to an hour long. Okay, fair enough. You still have 2 hours. Rusev might have a match, maybe about 5 minutes. The Divas will have a match, 5 minutes. We'll give them another 5 minutes there. If Barrett defends his title, realistically 15 minutes, maybe.
Maybe.
You forgot the hour of network advertising and promotion of Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
There's an hour of that.
But I mean, you look at the car, you look at WWE right now, and you're like, they've got nothing. They literally have nothing.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Because
I mean, they'll throw the main event together and they'll say, "All right, let's just draw some names out of a hat and we'll fill the rest of the card up like that."
There's 7 names for that match, for the Money in the Bank match. There's 7 people that's going to be in this match.
Mm-hmm.
We have 5 people announced. You know John Cena's getting added to this match.
Right.
So, who's the 7th?
Seth Rollins. I
Well,
don't know.
they were
No.
saying.
Oh wait, no. Okay. No, Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. That'll probably happen at Money in the Bank.
Roman Reigns and Triple H, are they having a match?
No. They're going to save that. They're trying to save that till SummerSlam.
Yeah, well, your cock has to be big if you're fucking waiting till SummerSlam now, don't it? Fucking egos nowadays.
I mean, well, Kane. Okay, we'll say Kane gets put into the title match too.
Oh, that's potential, yeah.
So you got John Cena, Kane, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Cesaro, Alberto Del Rio, and Sheamus. Does that sound like a spot-filled match?
Sounds like a boring match, to be honest.
It sounds like a technical classic with a ladder involved.
Yeah. It just doesn't have the same kick. And then you go, okay, if Kofi Kingston was actually built in a better sense, he would have actually worked in this. You need somebody in there who can actually go, let me do a spot.
Wait a minute, didn't Kofi Kingston get an award the other week of, like, the second wrestler ever to lose 100 matches televised?
About a month or so ago, maybe?
Yeah, because he got that built up, so he's now one of the biggest jobbers there's ever been.
He's right there with Ziggler.
He's up there with Ziggler, and he's up there with... Who was the other one? Whoever got first. God, I think it was Ryder.
No.
Have to Google it. But yeah, no, he's up there with Ryder. Ryder's actually probably more over than him at the moment, which is really weird. But
you know, I'm running through the... and see, it's all Ziggler. As much as I hate the guy...
it is Ziggler. It is Ziggler.
As much as I hate Ziggler, he would actually do decent in the Money in the Bank.
And Jack Swagger's the other one, man.
Oh, yeah, Swagger.
So, yeah, you got Ziggler, Swagger, and Kofi, who have all had 100 televised losses.
I mean, you just look at the roster, and The Miz. Where the hell is The Miz?
Still filming the Marine 3.
But...
or, I mean, 4. Whatever.
Or 5.
But Summer Rae's back. Summer Rae was in the movie, also.
Yeah, but she might not have had as big a part.
Maybe. But
yeah,
I mean,
Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, and Kingston. God, that's embarrassing.
I mean, maybe Ryback will have a match. But I mean, you just look at this and you go, what is there for WWE right now?
Lots and lots of financial woes. And unfortunately, a lot of law firms investigating them for misleading shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
funny.
seriously, if you have some free time, go look at the roster page. First off, get a happy boner the Vacant's champion again. Long live Vacant. But take a good look at the roster and ask yourself, who is actually built into it? Who has actually got any momentum? And you just go, my God. Oh, God. Because Big Show, what was the last thing that Big Show did that was relevant?
Oh, no, it's very relevant because even when Miz comes back, who gives a fuck?
The last thing that Big Show did was he came out and punched Damian Sandow.
Right.
Oh, sorry, I was meant to care. Oh, poor Sandow. Oh. Sandow will be next.
I mean, think about this. We got way off topic here, but we should be back for Impact this next week.
Yeah, we can cut the end part off for a separate podcast. But anyway, yeah.
Well,
Right.
we'll be back for Impact. I want us to do a podcast for Best in the World for Ring of Honor. So hopefully we'll have that, and then we have Money in the Bank to look forward to after that.
Yay!
Yay! Maybe Emma will be on this show. Oh God.
Shut up, that doesn't draw shit from Australia.
Okay,
Go on.
so for now we're gonna sign off. Oh God, Heath Slater.
I think he's broken again, guys.
For
Yeah.
Pastime Viewpoints, we're gonna sign out.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of Slammiversary.
That too, and enjoy our extra commentary.
Make sure to see it. D.
Indeed.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming back, Darius.
There are some things we don't share on the internet. And that's the
Apparently, they
incriminating
think
audio
the same
clip
way.
that can be remade or remixed. That's the one thing I've learned from the Game Grumps. You watch your ass on what you say.
Oh.
What, you really think that Darius is gonna go? That D is gonna come over from North Carolina all the way to Oklahoma just to get you?
No, I meant they'll take that and make some of the work, just take a clip of your stuff and then make it a remix of it. Or they'll put it to pictures.
Oh my God! Wouldn't that be funny with an animation?
Yeah, I don't
Oh
think
my
you're that
God.
famous.
Yet.
I could just imagine D just walking out of his house. Hey, you're that weird fuck that goes online and watches that weird porn. How do you know? I mean, no.
Wait. Have they been giving out my account? Well, yeah.
Oh my God, I've been hacked again? Jeez. Can a man watch porn on his laptop in peace in Carolina on his own? God. Jeez. These live sex shows are fucking getting me spammed all the time. Fuck. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going back inside to calm myself down. Stephanie, are you online? Yes. Hey.